to shout to clouds. It's trigger warning!
Hello and welcome once again to the Trigger Warning podcast with myself, Hayden Hewitt, and Mr. Showbiz himself, Graeme Booth.
Hiya. You alright?
Not bad. It's been a bumpy evening.
Yeah, you phoned me earlier, didn't you? You were very flustered.
Oh, last night even got was today. But this evening I thought, you know what, I'm going to relax because everything, like my body's broke, everything's broken. My face is swelled up on one side for no reason whatsoever, not even a toothache. I thought, with my dinner, because the wife made me some very fine teriyaki noodles, with chicken and mushrooms and peppers. I thought, I'm going to have some wine. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, I have a very refined palate. And
yeah. You're known for that, yeah.
3 times out of 4, I can tell the difference between, let's say, a $7.99 bottle of Merlot and Mad Dog 2020. So I had a couple of glasses of wine, and then, you put the kid to bed, you do all this, that, the other, you run around, and I sat on the floor in the living room thinking, well, I won't go to sleep if I do that, and promptly fell asleep. So I woke up in a panic, messaged you, I said, I'm just going to get a shave. So I'm going to continue my self-medicating. I've got some Iron Maiden beer here. This is Sun and Steel, which is a sake lager.
Oh, really? I'm drinking... I think it's like Grant's whiskey or something. It's not very good, but my daughter picked it for Father's Day, so I'm just slowly working through the bottle.
Oh, I don't normally drink lager as a rule because I'm not that common, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm not sure what the benefit of having sake in it is, but...
I've also got cake, Hayden. I've got cake.
I'm not allowed to have cake. I'm falling apart and...
I was just before I came on air. I was like, I shouldn't eat this on air because I'll just end up with loads of black cake chocolate, and I'll just be there going, "Oh yes, Hayden, Antifa."
Oh well, cheers.
From that Gaydon Jewett, that'll be the bit he clips, won't it?
Yeah, sake lager tastes a lot like lager, which is just incredibly dull but very fizzy.
You'll be good, man. You'll be good.
I've opened the wrong bottle, but self-medicating, I've decided, is the key. Even though I'm being properly medicated, I've decided that self-medication will help me enormously in dealing with everything that's going on.
Hey, it's that time of the month, innit? I might sneak in and see if our sofa's got some of a disabled person medication for me. Fancy a night off. I go, give me a couple of you disabled person pills, and I just sit there like Dracula going...
What was it I took the other night? Because they prescribed them for me, but I've not taken any. But I took one the other night. It was dihydrocodeine.
Ooh.
No, it was shit because it said just take one. So I just took one. I thought 30 ml, that'd be fine. And the next day, just woke up feeling like shit. just terrible. So I'm just not bothering with that.
At least you knew why you were feeling shit this time.
No, that was on top of the regular shit. But the good news is I'm making lifestyle adjustments that are easing up on the problems. We're not there yet, but today was a positive step. I'll tell you after this show what happened. But
okay.
Today was a positive step, so I'm looking forward to a considerable drop in income, but perhaps a considerable extension to my lifespan. So
that's what it's all about, isn't it, man? That's what it's all about. Yeah, there's the last day on Earth. What would you choose to do? It certainly wouldn't be work.
No, fuck no.
If you knew today was your last day, you'd be.
I tell you what else it wouldn't be. The shit I've been doing recently. It certainly wouldn't be that.
I'll be honest. If today was my last day on Earth, the only difference I would have made was
you wouldn't have spent the 2 hours of it with me.
No, well, this could be the end. As midnight rolls in. Bye, everyone. But no, I would have asked Soph to stay off work. But apart from that, It was wonderful.
Stay
Just
off
chilling with my
work.
daughter.
Stay off work. Watch the little one while you go to the pub.
Yeah. I'm just gonna lie in bed masturbating through the day.
Masturbate bitterly.
Why? No reason. No reason.
Who have we got
Don't come
in? If you're listening to this on the podcast, by the way, hello. We record this live every week on YouTube at 10:30 p.m. UK time, and we've got a few in chat. A lot of people are being quiet, but we got Farley here. Hello, Farley. How you doing, mate? Lay Like Luke, who's drinking Brewdog tonight. Very nice. And Farley's also complaining that since they took detuned Carlsberg Special Brew from 10% to 7.5%, it's not the same. Farley showing that we've all got class here. He also said, opiates for the win, you won't shit for a week. We got Natasha in. Hello, Natasha. We got Sutty's Rehab. All the cool dudes are in. That's really nice. I'm glad to see you all. Oh, I feel all cool now. Nice.
So, dude, if you've been hammered, then do you even know what's going on with the world? Have we got anything? Is that it? Is this the end of the podcast then? If you've been too busy and asleep on the floor, is this it? Are we checked in? Are we done?
No, because a story caught my eye before. Because we were talking on the phone earlier, whilst I was driving around like a fucking idiot all day.
Hey Google, phone Graeme. Oh shit. It's all right, Google. Not now.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really weird phoning you because your name's Graeme. But if I say Graeme, my phone doesn't recognise it. But if I say Graeme, it phones. But what gets me is I'll say call Graeme, and it'll go.
Graeme.
But then it'll say calling Graeme. So for fuck's sake. Hey, Tezzy's in. Hello, Tez. How you doing,
Hi,
fella?
Tez.
So this story caught my attention because of something we were talking about earlier. And apparently Chrome's decided it doesn't want me to see that story and it's closed it. So anyway, we're talking about people that probably feel apologetic for sex, and The Guardian.
Yes, we were, Hayden.
Yes.
We were.
Because these are the things we talk about. And I'm not going to go into who it was, because it's probably a bad idea. But in The Guardian, some guy was writing in to complain that his wife felt violated when they had sex. And what could he do about it? This is where The Guardian should be hiring me to sort out these people's problems. Let me tell you what you should do, mate. Number one, go back in time. Don't fucking marry someone you've not had a lot of sex with. B, she's probably doing it with someone else who's better anyway. In fact, the Twitter comments were a joy on this one, Graeme. My favourite one was, "You're not smashing it right, bruv."
Oh, God.
Now, the sad thing is anyone that says that has never smashed anything in their life. But what a beautiful comment. Now, that's an agony aunt comment, isn't it? You're not smashing it right, bruv. Someone else will be smashing that. There you go. Get better at smashing it.
I can't help but wonder that, when I read the article. I was like, is she doing it with someone else? Because it seems a bit,
To me, it seems a bit like, it's not me, it's you.
Yeah. Because if they just got together, right, and they really liked each other, but when she went into the bedroom, something triggered, and she was like, "Oh," and you were like, "Oh shit, what happened to you? No, did Daddy used to touch you or some shit like that?" But
you make it sound. Did Daddy used to touch you? Tell me. Slowly.
Details. But no, but the thing is that haven't they been together like 14 years and they've got 2 kids? So you're just like, wait, what?
He's violated her at least twice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a recent thing. Maybe she's just decided after reading all that stuff online that he's a beta cook, and she can just stop him trying to give her, the poke in the back with the fun-sized Mars bar at night. That's what it is. She's like, I've had enough of him. Get off. I feel violated.
I feel really bad. Like when I read it, I want to hear her point of view, because obviously with him, he's trying as really, really hard to be so respectful to the woman and not be too,
Graeme, he doesn't exist, right?
Oh, well,
these things are just articles that they write to virtue signal like a motherfucker.
Fine.
It's like, oh, come on.
I was...
It's like the old porn
No, I
magazines,
know, I
isn't
know.
it? Nobody ever
trying to...
wrote those in.
I
Nobody
know,
ever
but
sent a letter in to fucking Reader's Wives going, let me tell you about this time. I was staying in a hotel, and luckily for me, the maid came in with a tub of Vaseline and a rather loose arsehole.
I just happened to be hard and all that. Yeah. No, I know. But, you know, just talking about it in good faith, though, at least.
I was rubbing one out, and the maid said, let me help you with that. Marvellous. In real life, I was in court last week for exposing myself to a maid.
Yeah, I know, yeah. The man's reality, because the man's reality is never the way it really is, ever. God, no. She loved it.
Like,
I could tell she was impressed.
I never understood flashers. If what they want is someone to go, oh, then it's fine. But I wonder how many of them think, if I just show her this, she's going to want me. I'm naked under this raincoat.
A man flashed me on the 1st of January once. I was on my way back home from a New Year's party, and he was horrible because he was going, and he was all toothless and weird, and he was going, so you were like listening, and then once my focus was so hard on trying to work out what I was trying to say, I didn't notice that he was just getting his dick out and holding it, and then as I noticed he was holding his dick, he just started weeing, like, but not at me or on me, just sort of weeing, kind of half on himself.
Did you not get yours out and just cross the streams for a Happy New Year?
No, man, I was on a massive come down. I just walked home. I walked all the way home. It took me like an hour and a half.
Depressed.
Yeah, it's like no, we're going home.
I've never done that, but I remember I was in Rockworld in the toilets. I'd have been about 19, 20, and some guy was in there who didn't belong, and he went, "Excuse me." Oh, yeah, he went, "Your skin's nice and smooth." Oh,
I remember that. Yeah.
See you later, mate. just catch you later.
Yeah. Hey, I was just trying to compliment you, man.
Hey,
I didn't mean anything creepy.
No, because there's nothing creepy about cornering someone in a toilet and telling them how nice their skin is.
For fuck's sake, man. Bigger.
Nothing about that screams problem, you know?
I just realised I had Top Chat on again. I hate that. Why would Google default to Top Chat? Just show me everything. Just fucking show me everything.
Google hates us. They're treating us terribly at the minute now.
I know, literally well, this is apparently, and there's evidence of this, a lot of evidence now. The news and politics tab, which is the one we're under, has been suppressed as a whole completely and totally, because they've been getting caught out suppressing certain people, and it seems to be the way around it has just been kill a lot.
Oh,
and
fuckers.
Purely anecdotally, I mean, all I watch all day long is fucking news and politics.
Can you change our tab to like fashion and beauty or something?
Well, that's what I was going to suggest. We should have a little chat, see what we can change it to.
Do a makeup tutorial, and we're good to go.
But I've been getting loads of shit in my feed, like hot ones. I can't fucking stand hot ones.
I don't know what that is.
It's like people eat hot chicken wings whilst they're being interviewed.
Oh god, yeah.
It's okay. I've seen like one or two where, because they get really big celebrities on it, because it's a huge corporate backed show. It's basically something that would be on TV, but it's on YouTube instead, you know. And I've been getting them constantly. I've been getting old Funny or Die videos. I'm like, this isn't the shit I watch. I watch protest videos and fucking school lectures that people have recorded, not like, you know, fan cam school lectures. It's like under the table. Oh yeah.
I watch car reviews and industrial accidents mostly, which I always watch on trigger warning because I know the recommendations will be left for you.
Yeah. It's always really weird to me when I open it up and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
It's a terrible mix of car reviews and terrible accidents.
I was gonna flood trigger warning with tranny videos, but the only way for that to come up in the recommendation would be me just watching hours and hours of tranny videos via YouTube on Trigger Warning. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give my time to that just so you can go, oh, Graham's been watching loads of tranny videos. Like, it's not like you would have got your purse and gone, oh dear.
No, I'd have just screenshotted it, obviously. Someone in chat, Elf Boy, hello Elf Boy, has said Morrissey thoughts. I do have some as it happens. For the record, always disliked the Smiths intensely. Find Morrissey dreadful.
Me too. I've always hated him. Way before it was cool.
I did once interview Johnny Marr, and he was a top geezer. But we were talking just guitars, not the Smiths. It was just for a guitar mag. But, no, dislike the Smiths intensely. Buzz the shit out of me. I like metal, proper music. And, but Morrissey, all these people saying I don't want to listen to him anymore. What do his political opinions have to do with your enjoyment of his music? I don't understand that. If you like the music, listen to the music. Why do you need him to agree with you? I believe he's entitled to whatever his opinions are. They don't sound terrible to me. I think it's just the fact that, he's a middle-aged white man saying, I'm not sure about immigrants and good on Brexit, and all of a sudden he's a gammon and no one should pay attention to him. I can think of a million better reasons to not pay attention to Morrissey, chief of which being he's a twat.
Yeah. It's a weird one though, isn't it? Because he's the thing is, the stuff he's saying he's putting it very, very badly, but he's just got no filter and he doesn't give a fuck, which is the same as he's always been.
Why should he care? He's a wealthy man who wants for nothing, and it's his opinion. It's not like it's brand new as well, It's just his opinion. So if you enjoy the music, listen to the music. What does it matter? What his political opinions are. Who should care? It's like when Yngwie Malmsteen turned out to be a twat and people acted like they were surprised. Well, I'm not listening to his music anymore. Why?
Yeah.
What does it matter? I don't care. I want them to be horrible. The rock stars.
It just never grabbed me. It never grabbed me. But to be honest, all this shit with him, I'm saying, I'm glad for it. I'm glad for the fact that he's opening the Overton window a little bit, whereas he's willing to take all this shit to sort of get certain things out. And yeah, he doesn't put it well. Some of his takes are very, very hot takes, but at least he's kind of getting it out there a little bit. I mean, sure, some people are going to call him racist, gammon, all that bollocks, but then there's a lot of people that, at least he's kind of getting thoughts out there and getting things out there. These like forbidden things, like wanting to actually do Brexit, which has now been rebranded as an extremist position.
I think it's important that everyone can state their opinion, whether pro, anti, or otherwise, no matter what it is. And as such, regardless of how much I dislike Morrissey, I have to support his right to say whatever the hell he wants to say, and it's just his opinion. This whole opinion thing drives me fucking mental. It's like when I was asked about my opinion on abortion. So I gave my opinion, my personal opinion. Me personally, is that I don't like it. I'm not for it. It's like, how dare I what? That's just my opinion. It's not the law. I don't think it should be the law. I don't have to carry the baby. And what I say has got fuck all to do with it. It's just my opinion. I'm not keen on it, but I don't have to have one. So there, you've got my opinion, but what fucking difference does that make for your world? Oh, well, I can't talk to you now. You're pro, you're anti this. I'm not telling anyone what to fucking do. And we need to get away from this. It's his opinion.
Yeah. What difference does it make?
Yeah, it's all it is. It's just an opinion. Everyone's got shit opinions.
It's not like he has slaves, or he's I mean, he could be, but at the moment, it's not like he's beating women or going around. He just he thinks what he thinks. He don't give a fuck. It's funny as well. He got asked about not playing the Manchester gig after the bombing, and I kind of liked his attitude of like, well, I'm not. Don't look back in anger. Fuck not looking back in anger. I am angry. That dude blew up children. I am pretty pissed. I actually thought, yeah, because it was nice. It was nice the way Manchester sort of came together and really support. It was a collective sort of knock to us all, wasn't it? We were all a bit like, oh shit, and we needed that, but it did go a little bit over the line in terms of people, like the mums of people coming on the news going, sort of saying, basically saying, no, it's fine, everything's fine. It's like, well, not really. Kids have been murdered. It's not like. Should we find out why? Should we find out what led up to it? It all just kind of petered out, didn't it? Really.
Well, we spoke about this today, didn't we? This desire people have to accept everything. Like you said, there was a TED talk from a paedophile.
Oh yeah. Just a paedophile saying, "I can't live my best life," and it's like, yeah, because you want to fuck kids.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the thing is, I've always tried play devil's advocate, but the truth is, what you want to say to them is, sorry, but you're a fucking monster. I get that you can speak rationally to me. I understand you're probably really good to animals and all that, but the fact is, you're a fucking monster and you are a violation of a child waiting to happen. I'm sorry, you have to go and join that queue over there where a man at the end will put you to sleep with a fucking hammer. Legally, obviously. But they're just monsters, and I'm tired of having to live in a society where you got to go, well, maybe we can rehabilitate them. Because the truth is, I don't fucking care about rehabilitating paedophiles. I don't fucking care about that. Use them for fucking clinical testing. I couldn't give a flying fuck. They're neither use in a fucking argument. Squirt Purcell in their eyes till they're useless. They're not human, they're monsters. And I'm tired of living in a society where I'll go on Twitter. God, that sounds so gammon. But I'll go on Twitter and there's people defending paedophiles, saying, I'm an ally of paedophile. Are you? You get in the fucking queue as well, dickhead. You get the tap on the head with the hammer as well. Fuck these people. I'm an ally of paedophiles. Have you heard what you're saying?
I know, yeah.
You're an ally of people that want to fuck kids. No. In the queue, dickhead. In the fucking queue.
Well, it's the same people that talk about normalizing hate, and it's like, well, what are you doing there then? Like there's no consistency. But then again, they it's becoming clear now that the sort of super woke people are actually proud of their inconsistencies. It's something they wear with pride.
When you were telling me that little girl from Avengers.
Oh yeah,
being attacked by SJWs, and yet they'll justify the fact they're bullying the little girl for whitewashing as if she's got fuck all, as if she's got anything to do with any of it. Yeah, but they'll justify it, and we know a person like that.
Yeah, well, just to catch people up, that's Lexi Rabe that played Tony Stark's daughter. I Love You 3000, and she's just put a video out on Instagram saying, "Please stop bullying me and my family. I can't always take pictures and things like that." And like one side to it is, well, you signed up to be in the Avengers, you signed up to be Iron Man's daughter, so people are going to ask you for fucking photographs. You can't have it both ways. You are a public figure now. That's part of the deal of being a fucking Avenger. But the other side to it was, what you've just been referring to, in that it hinted that she'll be the next Iron Man. It had her holding the mask and saying how she likes to tinker and things like that. And the issue now is the girl Iron Man is called Ironheart in the comics, and she is black. Riri, she's called. She's a fucking arsehole. They've written her like a villain. Modern Marvel comic characters are just villains. They're just self-absorbed assholes that don't do heroic things. They're just assholes. But that's beside the point. So now, because they're teasing that this 7-year-old girl will be the next Iron Man or Ironheart, because she's white, they're accusing this 7-year-old girl of whitewashing because it's originally a black character, and they're being really horrible to her about it. And what? Oh, fuck. I didn't do any spoilers.
Don't get me started on spoilers.
Did I do spoilers? I didn't. I quite intentionally didn't do any spoilers. Oh, never mind.
Fucking hell, Iron Man dies at the end, for fuck's sake. Everyone that cares has seen it. Who gives it? I'm not going to tell the Graeme story again with Rogue One. I'm not going to do it. All you fucking pussies with your spoilers, for fuck's sake. Why? Don't tell me a spoiler. It's a film. Why do you give a fuck? Just relax. There's 3.5 fucking days before you get to the end. There's plenty more to enjoy. Iron Man dies, Spider-Man comes back. There you go, be fucking happy. I should have done that the day after it came out.
You shouldn't not have did that, Hayden.
Oh, fuck him.
Really got to me that though. The stuff with his daughter, it really did. Really, 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 really got me. Because you know my little girl. When I ask her how much she loves me, she says 166, because it's the biggest number she knows how to say. So when his little girl said "I love you 3000" in that movie, honestly, I just welled up, man. Like, if it was lucky I was on my own, because if my daughter had been next to me, I'd just be sitting there going, "I love you so much. I love you." It really fucked me up. And when I got home, I asked her again, like, all emotional from seeing it. I said, "How much do you love me?" And she went, 166. And I just went,
Well, Sutty's Rehab's just asked us in chat, seeing as I'm giving out the spoilers. Tell us the ending to Brexit. Okay.
We told you that months ago, man.
Glory. We're going to take back control. We're going to thrive. We're going to become a powerhouse nation. It's going to be wonderful. With Prime Minister Boris Johnson, I nearly held it together then. Prime Minister Boris Johnson at the helm. We're going to sail into uncharted waters of greatness not seen since the days of the Empire.
We did call Prime Minister Boris many, many moons ago, though, didn't we? Many moons ago, just after Theresa got in, we said this is just a bullshit position.
I think it was mostly wishful thinking on our part, though.
I know. I fully expected it, because there's no way. Like, I didn't think May was going to do this badly, but oh my god, she's done so badly. But even if she'd have done well, it's a cursed thing. There's no way. It's like getting through the financial crash, isn't it? Gordon Brown was fucked. He knew he was.
Yeah, but rightly. There was no reason to bail out the banks. Don't even get me started on that shit.
Oh, suddenly you're for fucking corporate responsibility, are you? Stop getting.
What do you mean suddenly? I've never been for bailing out the banks.
You're always going on about how fucking regulations, how important they are.
Yeah, they are. And if we'd enforced them, the banks would have never done what they did. So what you need to do is reel your hippie, fucking scruffy, racist neck in, and realise that if we had proper regulation, the banks wouldn't have been allowed to fuck about like that, and we wouldn't have bailed them out.
It's just like fucking socialism all over again. It wasn't right this time, but we'll get it next time. Just a little bit more regulation will sort it out. Just a little bit more.
Oh, sorry. You want an unregulated banking system?
A lot less than it is now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great, Graeme. That'll work a charm.
Well, how does it help? It just puts the banks in the government pocket. The more regulations there are, the more power government has. Fucking hand in glove. The more
you're right. No, you're right. You're right. Let's get rid of all regulation.
And they're gonna. No, I didn't
it's
say
all right.
all regulation.
No, you're right. Let's only have the regulation you choose. And then everything will be fine. No, I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to work with you.
Regulation exists to just keep other people out. Is a fucking don't be such a bitch for him, Hayden. It's ridiculous. You were going on about it the other day with fucking them locking accounts off because of all the rules with something in that. You don't need regulations for that.
The thing is, you do, because if it had been done properly years ago, there wouldn't have been this panic of the banks not living up to their corporate responsibility and therefore having it thrust upon them because they wouldn't do it. Most regulation is not proactive. It's reactive. That is a fact.
Yeah, but if fraud
why do we have the regulations?
Fraud happens, so regulations come in to stop fraud. But the banks don't want fraud to happen. They're gonna fucking do it anyway.
No, regulations.
But now they've got an extra thing to jump through.
Regulations come in to make the banks act on it sooner because they weren't, and the banks were being incredibly remiss in how they dealt with these things. It was being overlooked because it was profitable. Therefore, regulation was required because corporate responsibility, if it existed, there would be far less need for any regulation. Any regulation. The problem is we've got a situation where we've got shit government and shit corporations. Unfettered capitalism leads to disaster because it's about profit over everything else.
But just, right, okay, yeah. So there's issues there. If the banks aren't taking care of people and their property, which is their money and their rights, regulation isn't the answer. It's protecting people and their rights and their property. What we've got right now. We've got increased regulation that does fuck all because all they just do is hire more lawyers to jump around it and just sidestep it completely. The only people it affects is me and you. It doesn't affect them in the fucking
But
slightest.
what do we do?
But then what do we do? What do we do is we actually put money where money should be going, which is the court systems, which is actually protecting people on an individual basis. If you've been fucked over by the banks, if you've been fucked over by a company, it's all been gutted now. There's no money there. There's no money in
Hang on, no, I'm not.
legal aid or
I'm
anything
not,
like that.
I agree with you 1,000%, but I'm not having it for 1 second that what we need is a more powerful justice system, and that'll remove the need for regulation, because regulation is what spells out what the company's responsibilities are.
No,
regulation isn't just a set of rules of control; it's a rules of responsibility.
In theory, Hayden, in theory, that's what regulation is. In reality, it is just a thing that corrupts the government and protects the existing structures. And that's why we're fucking bailing out the banks as they are, because they're all so deep in each other's pockets.
Yeah, exactly, but no regulation made us bail out the banks. What made us bail out the banks was a completely incompetent fucking government. So no, I believe we do need regulation. I'm not saying we've got entirely the correct regulations at this point, or that we need more. I say we need better. And we do need better regulation of bank systems.
What is more regulated than banking?
No, I didn't say we need more. I said we need better. Better. And that we need better government. Out of the way.
That's what they need to do.
Get the fuck out of the way and watch everyone get fucked in the name of profit for their shareholders.
Are they not doing that anyway?
It would be even worse because nothing would stop
it? Would
it? 100%. They wouldn't
because nothing could stop them. You actually believe
they wouldn't
government
be getting
has got
fined.
any interest in fucking stopping this?
Well, I do know. Well, actually, no, this is bollocks, because I do know that one of the reasons banks have clamped down so hard on certain accounts, which, by the way, is not what affected me in the end. They've clamped down so hard on these things is because they were fined billions, because it was proven that they were overlooking massive frauds in the name of profits. Hence, the government puts these big boots on and makes a fucking butty out of it as well.
I get that. I get a fine. Yeah, okay. You were disrespecting people's rights. You were disrespecting people's property. You were taking advantage. Therefore, we are going to fine you for it.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
People should go to fucking prison for that shit.
If you keep fining them...
That isn't the same as regulation, though.
If you keep fining them and it doesn't change because they're so fucking wealthy, what else can you do? Yeah, mine are going as well. I can't be asked going across the room for more either. It's like I don't believe in socialism, obviously, but I do believe in a social responsibility of sorts. That's what we have government for, to protect us. Regulation is supposed to protect us. For example, you and I both know if they stripped all regulation, the corporations would gamble, even if there were massive fines. Strip away all building regulation, for example. They would cut every corner possible, knowing that maybe we'll cut for one fine every 10 years. Instead of being put in prison, which does happen with substandard building. We'll cut for one fine every 10 years. That might be $1 billion. But hey, we've made 15. It's fine. So, no, I'm not anti-regulation. I do think a lot of our regulation is very poorly managed, put in by incredibly ill-equipped governments. However, as weak and pathetic as I consider our government to be, I place no more faith in corporations or their willingness to be good corporate citizens. So we've got a horrible thing at the moment where it is what it is, but I would like to see better regulation. Not more, better. I'd like to see more responsibility for corporate companies. When a corporation like a bank or a major building contractor can be shown to be so neglectful that it has harmed people's lives or possibly killed them, the corporate veil should be lifted instantly, and those at the top should be fucked for it. Because I tell you something, if you've got a small company, that's what will happen to you. But it doesn't happen to the big guys. Because on those PLCs, they have lords and shit sat on those boards.
That's my point though. That's my entire point. Is that the whole thing with regulations is it puts them in each other's pockets, and
Yes,
they just look at Carillion.
but
Carillion went.
without any. Yeah, but Carillion was still subject to building regulation.
Oh yeah, and what did those regulations do to stop thousands of people losing their jobs?
No, I said
To
building
stop,
regulations.
to stop yeah, but not even the building regulate any of it. None of it made a fucking difference to the whole company just collapsing. Everyone just being out of work.
I imagine the building regulations
Millions.
did make a difference to the quality of the construction that they carried out to some degree, because no one wants personal culpability, because there's manslaughter charges attached to that. Yeah, that's a different thing. We're slipping from regulation of absolute services into some kind of weird, as if regulations cover backslapping. And I know that if you go after one big company, let's say, and you report them for a wrongdoing, there's a good chance if they're really big, there'll be someone on their board that oversees the department that you're complaining to about them. But that's not That's not a regulatory issue. That's it's a different thing. Regulation to me is banks must behave in this way.
Yeah, okay, but my issue is the person who writes and signs and votes for the regulation, that they then have power with the companies. It's that you're then sowing the seeds for corruptions. The problem we've got in the tech industry right now comes from tech getting involved with government. For years, Microsoft wanted nothing to do with it whatsoever. And then in the 90s, boom, the government just got on with antitrust, fucked him, because they were giving away Internet Explorer for free. There you go, antitrust, you're done. Then Microsoft build a big thing in DC, and suddenly they're there, and they're all in pockets, and money's going here and there.
Because it's abused, we should get rid of it.
The more involved they are, the more abuse there is.
No, this is what I'm saying. Now. Because there is abuse of a system, we should get rid of a system.
No, not entirely, but almost completely, yes.
All right, well, that's social,
almost completely, yeah.
Well, that's social security almost completely gone for people.
Right? No. That's a non sequitur. You're not saying that. That's not what I said at all.
No, I said abuse of a system means we should demolish the system.
Yeah.
Which systems do we stop at?
I'm talking about banking. I'm talking about buildings. I'm talking about all that nonsense. I didn't mention social security for a second.
No, it's just that's my thing. Your argument was because the system's being abused, we should get rid of the system. My answer is improve the system. Neither of us can get what we want.
But you can't improve the system. You can't improve something that encourages corruption. You can have building standards like fucking that thing we were talking about when we were.
So we can have building regulations.
We can have building regulations that have got fuck all to do with the government. Fuck all. There's no reason for the government to be involved with that. Writing it, sorting it, no reason.
Who's going to write the building regulations?
They can get together and they can do it themselves, like we do right now with university applications. What's it? Is it AQA? You know, where if you want to apply to university, that's what you go through, and they go through and they sort everything out, and it's there and it's monitored, and loads of systems are voluntary that we don't even realise are voluntary. There's no reason for a government to get involved with that stuff. You know, if
so you think that the corporations could get together and be self-regulatory in the public interest?
You can have just as many punishments for stuff going the wrong way. They can agree stuff. But why
would they?
What incentive at all has the government got to making sure that it runs well? That's not how the government works. What incentive have they got? They're not benevolent. They're not some imagined version of the church.
Oh no, they're not that bad.
No, but what I'm saying is there's no reason you can have a boat, right? If you're going to buy a house, yeah. It can be certified by something. Currently, it being certified by the government means fuck all. Fuck all. Because there's constant things coming out of like, oh, this wasn't done right, this and that and the other. It's, oh, yeah, well, you know, they went bust 20 years ago, so it doesn't matter. At the moment, it doesn't mean a fucking thing. You could just as easily have a thing from people within the industry that's paid into, who's paid into, and then because it's more tied, because it's actually tied to their profits and it's tied to an internal reputation, there's more of an incentive for it to be legitimate. But when the incentive is a government
Now, you
employee,
see, what you're doing there is almost framing the government as being less moral than the corporation. And I view them very much the same. A corporation, by its very nature, is an immoral psychopath. But I don't mean it cuts people up with axes. I mean that's the nature of corporation. That's the way it has to work. They have one goal only. One goal only. Maximise profits. Maximise profits. Now, if you allow a body to be entirely self-regulatory, no matter with the best intentions in the world, they will not regulate anything that will hurt their bottom line. And if they're big enough, which they all would be in construction, they'll think they'll actually be able to sit down and quantify the effect of people dying. And they would know how many people could die per year without it touching their bottom line. Now, what a government should do with their regulations on building is not take into account how many people can die per year without hurting the bottom line. Now, we know there are backhanders. We know it's broken. But we also know we need safety. And we need safety regulation in many industries where we can't trust the industry to self-regulate, because whenever we've tried to allow an industry to self-regulate, it's a dismal fucking failure.
But that's what the judiciary is for. That's why we have a legal system. That's why we give our money to government.
Yeah, but no. Again,
fucking violence.
If the only regulations are the ones the corporations come up with, how can the judiciary have anything to do with it? Because it's not legal.
Because
and if they come up with a regulation, they're the only things that are legally enforceable, unless you have a government saying, no, this is the law.
But what happens then? What happens with the Rotherham rape cases, where our Prime Minister himself sends a message to the police to say, no, leave it. Leave it, step away.
Graeme, I'm not saying anything
they have the
works,
power to do that.
But I'm also saying that if you took the government out of it completely, there would be no one there to pass the laws to ensure certain things are in place. That doesn't mean bad things won't happen.
But
it doesn't mean it'll be ineffective.
There is, because you can buy a house that has been certified safe. So that person that has sold you that is within the thing there, within their thing that they've said, and they've said, yeah, it's stable, it's whatever, yeah.
And whose regulations back that up?
What? Well, it's the regulations that they've come up with. Like, it's not hard,
Graeme. The law
to come up with a thing.
Their law
right now, yeah, but the thing is though, right? If they've sold you something under false pretenses, then you have a right to fucking claim for it.
Yeah,
or at least you should have. But at the moment, the regulations and the laws are there done by the government, who are all just taking fucking backhanders. What's the point in that?
But the fact
they shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Well, I'm sorry, that's a really naive fucking viewpoint, because without legal basis, and we're arguing by exception here, and we're also looking at let's equate this to, if something's not fit for purpose, we can sue. But those laws and regulations were laid down by government. The Sale of Goods Act. It's an act. It's a regulatory move. Without that, there wouldn't be one. You can't sue unless there's a law there. You need a legal basis, which means you need regulations and laws and acts.
But those laws are written not based on that MP's actual knowledge. Those laws are written based on lobby groups who are already funded by the building companies. Like, what I'm suggesting in terms of just taking the fucking government out of it completely, they're already writing it. They're already writing it. All these building, association of builders, whatever, I can't think of it. Those sort of things. They're already funded by the building people. And right now, they're writing the laws. They're writing the regulations themselves already. And
they're certainly influencing, but there's some things they'd love to get rid of if they could, but that's where the civil service comes in. It's not politicians that make any laws. We all know that. It's the civil service. It's the people that are there year in, year out. They don't get voted in or out. That's where the power lies anyway.
But it's phenomenally corrupt because right now we just have those companies anyway paying them to tell them what laws to write.
Yeah,
And they don't fucking know.
I'm not arguing that it's not corrupt, but I think you're oversimplifying the process somewhat, because what we can't do and what we must never do is assume this is all evil, this is all good, they're all corrupt, they're not corrupt. We can't do that. Evidence shows that left to their own devices, corporations will just look at bottom line, consider nothing else. That's why in China they execute some building contractors. Okay? You need law. Law is regulation. Do we need better law? Yes.
You can't just throw China in there as a fucking example for that, because in China they don't have property rights. I'm talking about actual respect for property rights, which is something that we don't seem to have in this country anymore.
I'm talking about safety regulations and things of that nature. China discovered they needed them and they enforced them in the worst way possible. But without the laws, if they're not enforced, the corporations won't do things for the good of the people. They don't give a fuck. They're even worse than government. They care about the bottom line.
Yeah, they are. They're corruptible. An individual company is corruptible. And it's human and all that. So why the fuck would I want to give a monopoly to the government? Why the fuck would I then want to say, all right, why would I want one person to just, or one organization to make all the rules? Like, that's insane to me. I would rather that the corrupt companies and the bad companies, the ones that genuinely only thought of the bottom line, I'd rather the system was in place to weed them out and get rid of them. Will people get hurt along the way? Yeah, but they already do anyway.
Who's going to put that system in place?
But right now,
Graeme, who's going to make those laws though, dude?
No, it's not laws. It's literally the markets. The problem is, the more regulations you have, or just any regulations you have, because they're in each other's pockets, all you're doing is protecting the bad company anyway, that are already doing this stuff. You're then solidifying them. You're then throwing them a shitload of government contracts. You're throwing them the appropriate legal protections so they corner the market and they can be as evil as they want. And when they do fuck up, which they do, they're just protected anyway and they walk away, as you've just said. What I'm saying is that they're going to fuck up anyway. The government should be funding the judiciary to protect people, so they can sue the fuck out of them, so they can actually get compensation when they do fuck up.
Yeah,
and
the judiciary can only work within the framework of the law, and the law is laid down by the government.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm talking about are things that are in law.
Yeah.
Regulation that's in law. They're acts. The banking regulation is an act.
And
if you don't have them, what can the judiciary do exactly for you? If you don't have laws.
I'm not saying anarchy. I'm not saying no law. But if you've sold someone a building,
well, you just told me that,
false pretenses.
But Graeme, that's under law and regulation.
Yeah, but I'm not saying no. I'm talking about. You're talking about the banking sector. You're talking about building sector. Two of the most regulated things in this country, and yet, for some reason, they keep coming up with all these fucking shitty things because regulation and more regulation and supposedly better regulation doesn't do a fucking thing. But if there's a contract and someone has sold me something and they have said that it is safe and it's not, then I don't need I don't need a whole fucking stream of regulations.
No, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. We should let them.
It's a breach of contract.
You're right. We should strip the regulations away, and when they throw up that next tower block that falls down and kills 400 fucking people, we can take them to court.
Well, that's a good point, man. The towers. Look at the fucking Grenfell that just burned.
Yeah, but how
regulations did fuck all.
No, they didn't.
Weren't me involved with all that.
But they will now. They'll have to. But here's the thing. How many do you think would have happened without any regulation? If you say no more, you're full of shit. Full of it. Full of it.
No, but I'm not saying no regulation. I'm saying no government regulation.
Yeah, so that's no regulation.
That's what I'm saying.
That's no regulation.
No, it's not. Of course it's not.
Well, who else can make the laws?
Loads of places regulate themselves. Loads of things. That's the thing with the tech company. The tech company was fucking phenomenal. And that had almost no regulation. It still does comparatively. It grows and it's amazing. The problems with the tech company was when governments got involved with
All right,
it.
so let me just say something then, just very quickly, because otherwise we'll go around in circles on this.
No, go on.
We're
I'm
all,
enjoying this.
we're all for self-regulation. Yet before I even considered the idea as viable, you were supporting the idea of government stepping in and regulating the big tech companies like Facebook and Twitter.
No. I'm talking about protecting people's freedoms, protecting people's right to speak. Regulations coming no matter what. There's going to be something stepping in there no matter what. And I do not want them saying you have to do this, this, and this.
But they're going to. So.
But what I want is them to just literally protect free speech. That's all I fucking want. And this thing in America is close to what.
Let me tell you something, Graeme. Do you know what I want
right now?
I want the government just to protect us from the banks, to protect us from poor building construction. But you know what? It doesn't fucking work because governments are inherently bad. But I do believe it's not as bad as if we didn't regulate them. However, I disagreed that we should regulate tech companies until I investigated further the effect those can have on people. But I realised, this proposed bill in the States says, oh, we're just going to do this and this. It'll be great. They'll pork the shit out of that.
Right. Here's the problem though. Here's the problem with the tech companies is Section 230. Is it Section 230?
Yeah.
That gives them immunity. So they act like publishers, but they get
platform rights.
Platform rights, yeah. That's the fucking problem right now.
Well, the problem is,
law that was given to them.
You're 100% right.
The second you gave them something, they found a way to slip around.
In enforcing that, though, here's the problem we've got. Do any of us believe that a government is going to go, yeah, we'll just stop that and everything will be fine? Or do you think do you think that's where the government interference will stop?
No, well, I'm not asking. I'm asking for the fucking removal of that. I'm asking for the removal of the thing. If you are gonna be a publisher, then you need to pick, don't you, publisher or platform? Nobody's asking the phone companies.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, do you really believe that if the government introduced the bill, it says, no, look, you know what, this is how we decide who's a publisher, we have this audit. Do you think it's solely going to end with that? Do you think that's all they're going to regulate?
No, because the world doesn't fucking work that way. It's not like right, all right, well, we fixed everything now. No, things constantly change and evolve, and there's new problems constantly. I'm not
talking new problems. Do you not think they'll just use this opportunity to ensure that more on-point messages are promoted for governments?
What do you mean?
Well, do you not think they'll use this as an ideal tool to leverage a lot more control over online discourse than they already have?
Well, that's what they're doing in every country other than America right now. That's the effort.
No, of course, and that's exactly what's going to happen in America.
That's exactly the effort.
Because they will pork the bill, because that's what happens in the States a lot, and we see it here. They just go, right, that's the goal. It's beautiful, isn't it? That's beautiful. No, don't mind all the other bits underneath. Don't pay attention to that stuff. It's not important. I mean, look what they're already coming out with. We're going to ban this, we're going to ban that, we're going to ban the other, and we've got the corporations doing the same thing. YouTube wants to ban flat earthers of all fucking people. And the government will spoil that because David Cameron, when he was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, said he wanted to basically squash conspiracy theories. It's all a lever. But we're a little more supportive of a regulation that will stop Facebook and Twitter acting as they are, because we think, oh, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool.
I think that's because, in terms of my definition, in terms of the way I'm thinking of it, regulation being, no hate speech, like obscene, all that other stuff. For me, I'm separating that from legal protections for the individual. That's, in my mind, a regulation is an overall rule rather than individual protections. There's, like no hate speech or that bullshit about going in forums and things having to be deleted at certain points and all that. And right now, the governments in Europe are just arguing over how many regulations to bring in, and none of them are going to fucking work. Not a single one of them
mate,
are going to do the slightest thing.
That email I wrote to that politician that got back to me when she said, clearly you don't understand the bill. It was that Manchester, I've forgotten her name.
Yeah, the Manchester thing. She
said to me, clearly you don't understand. and then sent me an email. Well, she didn't. One of her aides did, explaining her bill. So I broke it down and explained why this won't work. I wasn't being, like bullshit or just an internet dickhead. It was like, this is why that will not work. These are the exact reasons. Your legislation that you claim is to stop online extremism, to combat terrorism. Let me explain why you're firing at the wrong target. They don't hang out here, they hang out here. They don't use those things, they use these things. And do you know what they did? Ignored me.
Of course they did.
What do I know? And I expect the same from a corporation.
Oh, yeah, but what do you think's happening with banking and building regulations? Do you not think that the equivalent of you in the banking sector is saying the same? Because I don't know, I'm not an expert in this
It's something
shit.
that takes years. The only reason we got the safety regulations we've got is because we didn't have them. People got fucking killed, so they put the laws in.
All right, and I get that, and the reason that certain things, you'd say the exact same thing about internet forums. Joe Cox got killed, therefore we need protections, we need regulations. But right now, the Hayden Hewitt of the banking sector is saying the exact same thing to MPs as you were over the forums, and he's been ignored just the same as you because he isn't paying. No, and there isn't like for me, the focus can't be on regulation. Because the whole thing, that the second you even go slightly in that direction, it's corrupt, it's fucked. Because you've just got the money people that, rather than the money people looking at you and trying to influence you with Coca-Cola adverts and all that bullshit, they then turn their phenomenal spending power to the politicians, and they go, right, well, we'll just fucking, here we go. I tell you what, we'll fund some, intellectual agency that'll come up with all these things over various years and all the rest of it, and they'll be the ones that bring it. We've got it at the moment with that fucking Marxist one that keeps coming up with, like, we should ban burger adverts and we should do all this, and it's all just funded via various companies or whatever. And that's kind of a thing at the moment. Everything that's happening in the internet has already happened with banking. It happens constantly.
Okay.
I just
no. Just let me just work on this, because you do have a valid point. The corporations lobby relentlessly to get their own way. So these corporations that relentlessly lobby to pervert regulation in their favour are the ones you think could self-regulate.
No, but in the sense that the government's attention shouldn't be on them. The government's attention should be on protecting our liberties, protecting our property.
Yes, which is what regulation should do.
And if you buy something, if you buy a can of Coke, you are entering into a contract at that exact moment. If that shit is just full of piss, that's the wrong way to put it. If that drink is just full of piss, they have violated their contract.
Yeah, that's regulations and acts and laws.
Which
so
happens
what we've come back to is we just need better laws, better regulations.
Well, to me, better protections for the individual. Nobody is talking about the individual in government right now. That is gone. Liberty, actually protecting people, is irrelevant. It doesn't come up. Free speech doesn't come up. It's barely fucking mentioned. It got a slight touch the other day in university. Well, the other day, a few months ago.
We have no laws whatsoever regarding freedom of speech.
Say again.
We have no laws whatsoever regarding freedom of speech.
That's nonsense. That's not true at all. We've got freedom of expression.
No, I didn't say freedom of expression. I said freedom of speech.
Well, yeah, but they're linked together.
No, they're treated very differently. Because
they are. Because none of them give a fuck. Because they're all looking at the corporations they're the ones that are giving them the thing. All these pressure groups and Hope Not Hate and all this bullshit that's funded by these people. Because that's where their eyes are. Their eyes are on.
See, I'm going to go even further than this at the risk of sounding tinfoil.
Go on.
I don't think it really fucking matters whether it's Hope Not Hate, whether it's a company, whether it's that. What government's overarching desire is for control over us. Absolute controls means they can run a more effective government. Because what you've not asked me, and well, why would you, is what do I consider the government to be? UK PLC. That's all they are. We're just got to hope for the best in a war between two different corporations, the business world corporations and UK PLC. We are a product. We have to be controlled so that we become the most efficient product possible at being born, not getting ill enough so that we can work as much as possible, put as much money into the system, and then die nice and young. That is the ideal. because it's a business. It's a business. So what we
I'll
have to
accept
do,
that. I'll accept that.
what we have to do is hope for the best both ways. I mean, I don't think it's been a master plan, but it all makes perfect sense. We want people educated only to a certain standard.
Yeah, I don't think for a moment that there's the whole
No,
fucking
but we want
loads
to,
of guys in a room making all these decisions. I don't think that for a
but we
second.
want to catch them in debt. We want people stifled. We're constantly, any child that is a round peg for a square hole is cast aside. We want drones because it's a company and we want as little expenditure as possible and the maximum return. And politicians are just the same. That's why they all go on to be on the board of major PLCs. So all we can hope for is not self-regulation, because you might as well just fucking top yourself now. But at the same point, I don't trust the government either. So what we have is this uneasy balance where terrible things drive some kind of legislation that's protecting. And I mean protective legislation. That's my main interest here, what we were talking about. I wouldn't trust the corporation to self-legislate. I wouldn't trust the government with everything.
You can still have regulatory bodies. You just take the government out of it.
The government
Just take
will
them
run
out of it.
because you need a government to be involved to make things legal. What you're saying, and I might not disagree, is that we have to completely overhaul our entire system of government. And I'm bang up for that as soon as somebody finds me a better way of doing it. I mean, I have arbitrary ideas that won't ever fly. No, it's very simple ones, mine. People that go into government should have a track record of being in business. And I mean, business people that have run businesses, own business, have lived in the real world, have worked all their lives. Career politicians should be, they should never have the opportunity. No one should go to Oxbridge and go into politics. Politics should be people. I mean, wasn't the American idea was so perfect at its conception? Because the guy who was president was supposed to come off a farm, go be president, and then go back to his life.
Well, they wanted Washington to stay on, and he's no. And that's not how it should work.
The American system was the perfection of all the things we'd fought and died for here, with the Magna Carta and some other things. They took it, they ran it, they created something beautiful, and then it was fucked by people. But the idea behind it was pure. It was wonderful.
I still think it's there, man. I still think it's there in terms of, life is hard. The world isn't perfect. It's full of dirty people trying to do dirty things. But even if things take time, and it has done with America, look, slavery didn't end day one, but the legal basis was there. That seed, like you were saying at the start, was there so that it was inevitable eventually. And like with the internet right now, like apparently our only hope right now is fucking Ted Cruz. I jokingly say Donald Trump, but he ain't going to do shit about it. But
Ted Cruz and the internet is such terrible, because whilst he's championing these things and people are going, what a great bloke, they're forgetting everything he's said before.
Yeah. But it's because at their core, the American government cannot pass laws that restrict speech. That is there. That is at the very, very core.
But
we don't have that.
They have got away, and it's rather beautiful, because Ted Cruz is anti-net neutrality. He called it Obamacare for the internet. But here's the thing. If you don't have net neutrality, which is regulation, if you don't have that, it's fucked. Never mind all this bullshit, because I got that off Drone Tech a little bit, didn't I? It's socialism and all that. Do you know what? If you want freedom of speech and level playing field, the first thing you have to do is ensure that people can actually have an opportunity to have free speech. And that means net neutrality.
Well, yeah, to me, net neutrality is, again, if they those wires that you're using, that's not, it's not a publisher, it's a platform, isn't it? It's like the phone line, it's like the TV or whatever. For me, net neutrality, it was worded badly. I think it was a mistake the way Obama did it, because ultimately it's giving everyone equal access, isn't it? Well, that's all it was.
See, the telephone has that, but it was lobbied insanely by the ISPs not to allow the internet to be classed the same way, because if it had, this would all be finished. But they lobbied intensely to get it separate, because they don't want net neutrality. Because net neutrality is actually, when you get past all the bullshit people are saying, if you go and read it, it's worded just fine. It's worded just fine. You cannot discriminate between any packet of information. There's no we the people. There's no everyone's voice.
Yeah.
They've taken it down, and this is why I thought it was perfect. They took it down to, this cable carries information. All information must be equal because you're a carrier. But the wording got lobbied the fuck out of. And that's why we got this problem going now. So people are saying, and one of the worst arguments I fucking hate about net neutrality is, well, we didn't need it before Obama. It's like, no, well, we did. It's just that's the government that decided to do something about it.
Yeah, you didn't need the First Amendment when people were just stood on the beach just chatting.
Yeah,
but sometimes it's nice to get these things written down.
Obama didn't walk in one day and go, "Do you know what, lads? What a great idea." That's not how it happened. Remember what I said earlier? Legislation is rarely proactive. Very rarely is it proactive. It's almost always reactive. And
I get
that's
that.
what net neutrality is. It's reactive because we know. And what amazes me is all these guys that scream about freedom of speech. It's the most important thing. But we should still oppose net neutrality. Is if we lose that completely, in 5, 6, 7 years' time, so it will happen overnight, when the internet is turned into just a late-night cable TV channel, who the fuck are you going to complain to?
You, Hayden. That's who I'll
They won't be
complain
able to, because I won't be allowed on the internet.
Oh no, I'll just phone. I still got you. I'll still have your number, maybe. You ghost. Oh, it's Graeme. Just set my phone to mute it automatically.
Just fucking ghost you all the time.
Yeah, just ghost.
Ever
since
says,
YouTube went off, ever since he got banned from YouTube, that Graeme, I've not wanted to answer to him.
Oh, for fuck. We've got one here. Teluvian says Ted Cruz is really good. He keeps pushing that they follow the CDA and be neutral platforms. Net neutrality is different. That's how ISPs operate. Too many small telcos were complaining of large wireless providers. That's a very, very particular view of the situation.
I agree, though, on the Ted Cruz thing. I mean, we haven't even really talked about it in terms of the leaks at Google.
Yeah, my problem is because one guy says a few good things, I can't remember all the shit, stupid, fucking idiotic crap he said for the past 10 years.
Yeah, all right. Well, he's a fucking politician. What are you going to do? He is a politician, and he's never not going to be. Exactly. But right now, of all the shit ones, he literally today had someone from Google down in front of the Senate, fucking there grilling him. It wasn't the right person, but at least he was doing something, at least there's some pressure.
Yeah, epic victory. Chose the wrong person.
We've got our fucking Tom Watson tweeting at YouTube to ban Tommy Robinson, whilst our elected officials are openly calling for censorship. Don't
get me wrong. I've said before, and I agree. The only country that can save us, the only one, is America. The only government that could possibly do anything about this is America.
On that. And at the moment, Ted fucking Cruz, of all people, at least he's grown that nice beard.
Well, this is
he looks a bit better now.
When I said how shit is it in the UK that our champions of freedom of speech are Tommy fucking Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, and some guy that taught his pug to do a Nazi salute for a laugh. Yeah. How shit has it gotten in our fucking dismal country?
Yeah,
that they're our heroes. I don't really like any of those people.
The left made a huge mistake. The left as a whole, obviously, there's a lot of very decent people on the left. But the left as a whole made a huge mistake scoring cheap political points against their opponents by relabeling freedom of speech as a right-wing issue. Once they made it a right-wing issue, it wasn't then too hard to just push it a bit,
Well, not just that.
Far right.
Don't these people learn ever? Everyone that complains about ending up with Trump, well, you shouldn't have put him there because you fucking did. When you attacked him over everything and you attacked everyone that wanted a change as being a racist and you guaranteed he was getting. They're practically guaranteeing he's going to get in 2020. Yeah.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are, especially with all this shit coming out about Trump now, about Google trying to block him, openly saying, we are not going to let 2016 happen again. fucking group emails going around the company, group emails of higher up people saying, what are we going to do about Trump?
But this did come out not long after he was elected. But it was kind of forgotten about because it wasn't as important as it is now.
Yeah, because they're actually removing journalists now. They're suppressing journalism, like straight journalism, not partisan, not like activism, like actual reporting of facts is being removed by Google right now because it makes them look bad, and that is fucked up. That is beyond
The video,
anything they've done recently.
We're not important, right? We're not big hitters.
No. I mean, they've definitely
one of the
fastest
fastest videos to get demonetized. Well, it's not that monetization really means a fuck, but one of the fastest ones was the one where I was being critical about YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
That was instant. Bing. That's it. No. You know, and I get that. It's like, well, we're not going to give you. I mean, at least they didn't block it. But I get a horrible feeling it didn't show up on as many recommended videos as we usually do. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, that's how they've been doing it because it's hard. If they unsubscribe you and stuff like that, then that's tangible. But removing you from suggested is a way to drastically remove your views because people just watch YouTube. Yeah. A video finishes, they just click the next one. You very, very rarely search for what you want. I think the only thing I do that for consistently is Screen Rant pitch meetings. That's the only thing. Like once a week, I'll just type that into the search. Generally, me and the vast majority of people that use YouTube just drift. Oh, so and so's live. I'll check that out right now. And that's what they've been removing. And I've noticed it. Like I said at the top of the show, I've noticed it. I've been getting all these weird like videos from literally 6 or 7 years ago, like Funny or Die, shit that I used to watch 6 or 7 years ago, and I, like all these old videos, and I'm like, where's the videos I usually watch? Where's all the normal, you know? And they've been replacing them tangibly. I've seen it on our own channel. I've seen our own.
Well, it leaves you with things, doesn't it? The views have changed,
yeah,
and the subs have changed. Now it could be that we're just not as good as we thought we were, but you know, it's slowing down. I expect you when I told you that, oh, this is going to slow down, and we just got this. You know, we just got to grind it out now. Keep going. If people like it, they'll follow.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how you know suggested have gone, because all of our videos used to get, you know, like our clips would get a few, but like every now and like every sort of 4 or 5 clips, we'd see it like pick up.
Yeah.
You know, like it, and suddenly it's on 1,000 views, and it's going and it'd take off, and it's because it was being recommended, because it was being suggested. What they're doing now is they're stopping you being seen by new people by squashing that part of it. So you're like, so we're not being seen by people who don't know us.
Well, here's the problem, of course. By the way, we do have a new website, www.triggerwarning.tv. The video on the front page isn't working for reasons I cannot fucking fathom. But on that website, you do have you can click on the links, all the shows are in there. We've got an integrated forum, we've got integrated social media, which is like some kind of weird mashup between Facebook, Twitter, and something else. I don't know, Reddit maybe. We've got all that in there. It's all absolutely free. Do go join. There's no algorithms. We don't track anything. We've got a store there if you want to buy some Trigger Warning merch. And just, you know, fill your boots. We'll spend time with us because there's some cool features coming to Trigger Warning. Because we have certain beliefs and it's time to put our money where our mouth is. You'll be able to... I don't know if you've ever used WordPress.com, where you can launch your own WordPress blog. But they've been getting a bit shady on the old political censorship side. At Trigger Warning, you'll be able to launch your own WordPress blog off Trigger Warning. So it'll be yourname.triggerwarning.tv. You'll be able to do that. We're going to look at hosting as well in the not too distant future. So that's another option, because we want you guys to have a platform. We want you guys to be able to voice opinions. Will it be absolutely without rules? No. But they'll be reasonable. And we have a charter on TW as well. We have a charter to promise what we will and won't do, you know. It's important to me because it's on a scale that I can achieve these things. As soon as it gets too big, it's a nightmare. And yeah, theoretically, Graeme, on Trigger Warning, we could have media, we could have streaming, we just can't afford it. Because we're never going to have advertising. So that's where we do rely on you guys. If you do want to support Trigger Warning and see us grow all these new cool projects and do more shows and things, for now, please consider going to patreon.com/triggerwarningtv. That's patreon.com/triggerwarningtv, and consider becoming one of our patrons. all the money gets used on trigger warning. It's as simple as that, much that everybody's discussed. We will be shifting that very soon to working just through the site. The only problem we got is with PayPal doing recurring payments, but Stripe are on board with that. So we can take debit card, credit card payments, recurring, and we're going to be doing all the subscriptions through the site. We're going to have all the early access materials through the site. And at some point, maybe down the line, if we can afford it, we'll stream through the site. You know, it's all there. It's all doable. It's just money.
There must be a workaround with that PayPal thing, because Netflix takes money off me every month.
No.
So there must be a way.
It can be done, but the obstacles, because the problem is, and I actually understand, is that PayPal are saying, quite rightly too, we're giving you the ability to change people's payments. We've got to be sure about you, because you can change like these things halfway through. Now, I've said to them, I don't want that. I want the person to choose, and if they do, if they want to change, can they not just cancel one and do another? And they said, well, that functionality is not there. So if you want to do it, you have to fill out these just the ridiculous amount of information and material, and the work involved in doing it. I'd rather just use Stripe.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And I think Stripe's fucking percentages lower than PayPal's anyway.
Yeah, they're all right, Stripe, aren't they?
PayPal's just useful. But it's all secure. We don't keep your information, like even on the store, which is powered by GearPress. I think it's every 28 days, most of the information held, like shipping addresses, is flushed. So, and you can request your information's flushed and it's gone. No algorithms, don't keep anything on you, don't look at what you do around the internet. Couldn't give a fuck what you do around the internet. In fact, that the sicker and more disgusting it is, the better as far as I'm concerned. It's just none of our business. No one looks at your private messages, no one does shit. It's all about what you want to do, what you want to see. We'd like to keep it supported by the community and ourselves, because that way we don't have to turn to advertising, we don't have to change anything for any other fucker by the triggerists, by you guys. And we just want to build something cool for us, all of us. So do check it out, triggerwarning.tv.
I've already been getting some weird sexual messages, by the way, via the old social.
It wasn't from me, was it?
No, I don't know who they're from, because they've not used the real names. It's all getting a bit creepy already. Asking me if I'm grooming them. And I'm like, why are you asking me if I'm grooming you? Why are you even bringing that up?
Perhaps it's because the moment someone signs on that site, friend request.
Yeah. And it's me just going.
And also having our property helps us just not be controlled by everybody else.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we're never going to get 1 million subscribers on fucking YouTube, so fuck those guys. We'll just do our thing, and if we're only ever playing to 100 people, I'm over the fucking moon.
Yeah, do you know what? That'd be awesome. If it was literally like 100 proper triggerists watching every night, every week or whatever.
Oh,
that'd be fucking... But it was like legit. It wasn't just like like a sort of
triggerists.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, triggerists.
Awesome.
Like I knew every one of them.
We've got one here, a comment from Teluvian, who says, I was disappointed with the trigger warning website. Graeme put a bunch of rules on. No smoke, Steve. You can't live stream on trigger warning. We can't afford it. Let me just bring up these rules, because I'm intrigued as to what rules Graeme put on the site.
I don't remember doing that.
I don't rightly remember that either. Let's have a look at the rules. Let's see how unreasonable they are. Here we go. Rules. Let's have a look. Here are the general rules for the social media aspect. No doxing. No illegal media. No hardcore pornography. Certain rules on gore and hyper-violent media. No spam.
What's hyper-violent mean?
Well, to be honest, it's all case by case, but when you get some people who make compilations of people being minced into bits set to Slayer, it can cause problems. But everything's context anyway. We don't have point systems or anything like that. It's all context. Another rule: no spam. Hate. It's a tricky one. Hate. So this is what we say about hate on trigger warning. Hate speech is a fairly redundant and overly politicized phrase these days. That being said, if you're advocating any form of hatred which encourages others to harass or harm any group of people, you'll probably be escorted from the premises. Criticism is fine, but there is a line and we're trusting you to know it. That's pretty fair, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Don't incite violence.
Yeah.
That's basically it,
Oh,
isn't it?
and the seventh rule: privacy. Please don't post private messages on public areas of the site. I'm not sure why they're such terrible rules. Oh, and don't make credible threats to people. It says if you make threats to another member in public or private which are deemed to be credible, you'll be on your way from the site. Obviously, the key word here is credible. If someone from 5,000 miles away who doesn't actually know where you live says they're going to stomp you, we'd advise not building a bunker in your back garden to protect yourself.
Yeah,
They're just common sense rules that keep us online and keep you safe. I'm not sure. I thought they were really reasonable. I feel bad now that I'm oppressing people with those rules.
Every single one of them disgusted me, Hayden.
I'm terribly sorry. How authoritarian of me.
The only reason this cake has lasted the entire show is because I get so self-conscious every time I take a bite. I have to sit here going,
Well, we've got to be getting near the end now. We've done nearly an hour and a half here. So
yeah.
just cram the whole lot in your mouth now. Just do it.
No, I got to... Just that little bit that was on my tongue. I breathed it in then. No, I've got to tell you before we go, really, really quickly. Have you heard of Ravelry, the website?
No.
It's a knitting and crochet forum, essentially. You literally just share
special
designs.
hell is this?
And it's really, really popular. It had like nearly a million hits last month.
I must
a
register.
million users. But they've banned Donald Trump stuff. So Make America Great Again, any of that is like completely banned, and it's caused a massive uproar because this is a social media site. And they have straight up said, and they've said in the actual post to say Trump represents white supremacy.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is why we sell a mega hat.
They're literally saying like, you know, all the usual guff about intolerance and everything. But yeah, we are not endorsing the Democrats or banning Republicans, but the president of the United States is not allowed. You're not even allowed flags in your profile, man. They've got proper Trump derangement syndrome on a knitting forum, one that's famous for the pink hats.
Is it any wonder that complete twats like Mark Dice are so popular?
I know.
Is it any wonder people are flocking to those guys? Because where else can they go? You can't even go to a fucking knitting forum now without being cast as a fucking racist white supremacist because you happen to like the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Or you fly the flag of your country. Oh, the world's fucked. The world's
This is literally on Ravelry. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put this in the. I mean, who the fuck's going to get here? But I'll put this in the actual comments. So if anyone wants to go and read it or whatever, quote: "Support of the Trump administration is undeniably support for white supremacy." They've actually written that.
These fuckers always use the word undeniably, and I can prove. I could prove in a court of law that they are wrong. I could prove in a court of law because I can deny anything I fucking like. Undeniably is a very unwise word to use.
100%. I think. I mean, they're saying here if you get banned, you've still got access to things you've put money into or whatever. I don't know how the fuck knitting works and all the rest of it, but still, it's like, yeah, they're opening themselves up to some. Whilst, how can you have this little self-awareness when right now Google is being hauled in front of the Senate to say why you're not being neutral? You get protections based around your neutrality. But then in the exact same time, the knitting world is just going, Trump's a white supremacist. Anyone that says, like, make America great again, you know, literally patterns that say make America great or anything like that, gone, done. You're not allowed it. Fucking insane. I just wanted to tell you about that.
That's just made me angry. It's just...
I couldn't believe it. If anyone wants to look, I've put the.
Do you know what's funny? I spent a long time taking the piss out of Trump because I think as a man, as a person, he's abysmal. But I've always made it clear that he is the president of the United States. He did win. People wanted a change. They didn't want Hillary, and you have to somehow respect that. But the longer this goes on, and the worse it gets, the more I find myself having to... Well, I don't have to. It makes no difference to him. But I find myself batting for Trump.
Yeah, me too, man. I can't
More and more, I'm having to go to bat for conservatives. That never used to be the case. I didn't have to. But now, more and more, I've got to go, no, this is wrong. The left is fucking wrong.
Can you imagine sitting here defending George Bush?
No.
You know, like there was no reason to. The man was an idiot, but at least people weren't being removed from society for liking him.
Because Trump's come along at a time when there was a perfect storm of wokeness,
Yeah,
displeasure with how the country was going, people feeling disenfranchised, feeling disconnected from the government, for better or for worse, and wanting someone to be on their side for a change. Now, we all know that politicians rarely work out like that, but the fact is, he was there. And all the left helped him get right in there. And they empower him every day. Look at that meme he reposted. So I had to quote it. The one where it was like Trump 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 30, 40, 50. It sent people fucking insane.
it did. They were like, fascism, he's taking over. He's because that's a common belief at the moment amongst people with Trump-Dramer syndrome, that he will refuse to leave the White House if voted out. They just say that. No, he won't leave.
Yeah, like it's a fact.
Do you actually honestly really think that?
Undeniable,
really?
Graeme. It's undeniable. Undeniable fact, I'm sure. Farley, by the way, says we need more content on the site. We do, and that's something we're working on. But also, once we open up the ability for you guys to have your own blogs or websites on there, the content for that will be shown on the main page as well, to try and get people to go and look at your stuff as well. So it'll all pay in. And by the way, you did make a request about the forums and being able to suggest new forum sections. There's a suggestions topic in there now, a section at the top there. You just go in, suggest whatever you want. If it's cool, we'll go with it. We'll build whatever you guys want. If you use it, we'll build it.
Yeah, let us know, because it's like there was a phenomenal amount of work to get Trigger Warning TV as it is right now. But please keep letting us know. I did a joking post about that. Like, make sure you message Hayden every day. Every single day. He'll love that.
I was quite pleased because I'm nobody's idea of a code. I know most of it's built off WordPress and
You've done really well, man.
Customizing the code. But when it actually worked, apart from when the login stopped working and then Jetpack stopped working and then everything stopped working. But when it worked, I was like, oh yeah, do a little dance. Because it's been a long time since I've actually physically built any websites. So I was like, yeah. And I know it's just a posh version of Lego, but I still had my moment.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, guys, to be honest, anyone could fucking do it. It's just time. That's all it is. Time and doing a spot of reading, and away you go. But I'm just looking forward to launching the ability for people to have their own sites off Trigger Warning. That excites me tremendously. Because I want people to do that, get into it, maybe take it a step further, have their own domain names pointing at it, and then when they go, Hayden, we've enjoyed it, but we want to go our own way with our own site. Well, fucking brilliant.
Yeah. That's the thing right now.
We'll still link to you forever from Trigger Warning. Because proud of you. Go do it. Fly, be free.
Yeah.
It's not a corporate thing, this. We want to keep it community supported wherever we can. Maybe there'll be sponsorship in the future. I don't know. But the strict proviso will be we ain't changing a fucking thing for anybody.
Yeah.
Except the community.
It's obviously it's there if people want to get in touch with the show and like as an advert for the thing, if the search results or whatever, it is there. But the point of the website now, the way it's going, is literally if you want to do a cooking blog, that it's so that that's just there for you to do, and you're not worried about fucking if you want to make Trump cakes and diary it. Go for it. Do you know what I mean? Do his big orange ugly face day after day.
By the way, it could be that we'll introduce down the line, because we've been talking about, we don't want to charge for shit, because I don't want to be an internet service provider. But maybe we'll tie a donation to more advanced things. So you could donate this and you can have a store. And when I say this, I don't mean like proper hosting money. Small amounts, small regular amounts from everybody are what make the difference, But maybe we could have a store functionality. You have your own store, so you sell your Trump cakes. There's so many things we can do. And it's all open. And once we start using it more, and there's more people using the forums, we can put more things to a vote. We can get you guys more involved with the development. It's never going to actually be a democracy. But I would like to turn to you guys as much as possible, as much as you want to have an input. And say,
Yeah.
what about this? What about that? Farley Granger suggested this. What do you think? Is that worth investing our time and funds in? And just get you guys together around it.
Who was it that wanted to have unicorn as a gender, not just male and female?
I don't know, but they got it.
But they fucking got it that day, there and then, within the hour. They can now select unicorn. Well, our gender policy is more inclusive than Facebook's.
The only thing I will say, when you sign in and you're filling in the form, a lot of it's optional.
Oh, yeah.
But make sure you check, because you can choose your level of privacy. And also check your notifications, because right now it's set, and I need to remember to change it to notify you of fucking everything. So you may want to change your notifications in your profile. You get emails about fucking everything. But yeah, we want to develop this around you. That's why we've not gone to, we've not saved up for 12 months and gone to a coder and we're going to do it as much as possible in-house. Work with the people that we know. Work with you guys if you want to get involved. There will be competitions where, I think it was Twatsack came and said, what about t-shirt competitions where, the winner designs a t-shirt and, the one who wins sees it in the store or the Gear Press store and the Trigger Warning store. So I think we go one better than that. I think the winner has to take a percentage of all sales as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got to get that snowflake one he did up. It was so good. No,
it's all on my list. But I like that idea of competitions where everybody benefits. So it's just, I want it to be a community place. And the important thing is we're not a community of a single mind. We're a community of disparate people who happen to be triggerists. And, we can get in there, we can disagree, we can fucking argue, we can do all that, but we'll do it properly, like you're supposed to, where you don't go on a doxing binge and demand someone loses their job for not having the same opinion as you. You fucking walk it off. Because triggerists are not snowflake betas. Okay, you just got to walk that shit off and come back the next day and have another pop. Got to fucking stand on trigger warning, okay? Because the admins and the mods will never swing in to protect your fucking feelings. Not going to happen. Never going to happen. If it does, I'll turn the fucking thing off. And Graeme knows I will.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, of course, man.
And then phone him after I've done it saying, what do you think? What do you think about doing this? Yeah, I like it. Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I've just done it.
We need to settle as well, though, so we can do this live thing, man. We need to do a live event so bad.
I reckon
we have a big fucking Barney in front of a room full of people.
I reckon I've got another couple of months of hell. At least. Literal fucking hell.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't kill me or make me any more ill, I reckon we should maybe look towards the late summer.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Let us know about a live trigger warning event. Keep it small, 20, 30 people tops maybe. Come up to Manchester, we'll see if we can get a hotel deal somewhere cheap if you want to stay. We'll get a room, we'll do a live trigger warning broadcast, but live with you guys in the room. We won't even broadcast the whole thing, we'll keep some of it just for us, because we're special people. And you can be involved or not involved, be on camera or not on camera. And, just bring it together.
Do you know what, dude? Halloween could work, actually, couldn't it? Not the night of Halloween, because obviously you'll be out with your lad there, but a Halloween special could be fun.
I have to dress as Jason Voorhees this year, apparently. Last year I did Michael Myers.
Yeah.
It freaked people out. People got really upset, and it was just one where I was scaring the local kids. They were coming towards our back gate, and I was rattling it, and there were all big groups of them. So I thought, I know, I'll burst out the front door. Now, my front door, you got a door from the living room goes into a small hall, and then it's your front door, which was open because we had the pot of sweets there. So I ripped open the inside door and went to run out, and a woman was there with a toddler. Dipping into the sweets, the kid looked up, and the kid didn't react at first, but the mother went, oh, no, and grabbed her and ran off.
But why? That's what you're supposed to do on Halloween.
But I'm like 6'1".
I'm
big. I'm a big fat bastard, but I'm big as well. And this guy comes steaming out in the dark. But what made it worse was me trying to explain myself through a muffled mask, going, no, it's okay. not reassuring.
No.
So
just go. No. Oh God! Come on, Janet, run!
so this year I'm apparently supposed to be Jason Voorhees. So a little less.
I
creepy.
might have to take mine out because we were gonna go out last year, but she was only 3. She'll be 4 now, and it's like she's really into it. I think this will be the year we actually go on a wander.
Oh, Junior loves it. He fucking loves Halloween. Because what we do, we if it's a school night or whatever, he'll come home. We'll get ready. Like one year we did him as a zombie, so I did all the makeup because that's what I used to do when I was younger.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
But I had to buy all my shit from the power shop and improvise with latex and cornflakes and shit. But we did him made him up as a zombie. But last year he went as Jason. Now the thing is, I've got to tell everybody he doesn't watch those films. But he does use YouTube, so he knows who all these people are. So he told me that's Leatherface. What the fuck? What do you know about Leatherface? He's seen a picture.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be Jason, so we got him a little mask, and my wife made him a costume. She scoured the internet for clothes that vaguely looked right and aged them, and just for one night. They could never wear again because kids grow ridiculously. And I got the boiler suit and the Michael Myers mask. So this year he wants to be Michael Myers. And I'm to be Jason Voorhees. I wanted to be Leatherface, but my wife said no one will know who he is round here. You'll just be a fat man with a funny face. I said, well, that's...
Yeah, you'll just be you'll fit in a little bit too well. It's like, oh, didn't bother to cheer, did you?
But we love Halloween because then we'll do the trick or treating. We have the Halloween music play in the dark hallway, all the stuff up, and the kids come for the sweets, and we scare as many as we can. I say last year we had big groups of them. The brave ones were coming to the gate. And I'd moved to different places to catch them. And it was brilliant. And then after that we watch a movie. And then he usually falls asleep on the couch. But so I love Halloween. As soon as he was old enough to enjoy it, that's when the Live Leak birthday show got shifted.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough.
Live Leak's birthday is Halloween. Apparently Brexit's going to be Halloween this year as well.
Yeah. Well, that's why it might be good to do an Independence Day special around that time. Not on the night, obviously, but around that time.
On the night after everyone's gone to bed.
Yeah.
Independence Day. That makes me so happy. Just to frame it like that, to piss everybody off, makes me so happy.
Well, that's the Independent ran a huge article the other day about exactly that, saying no, you can't call it that because you weren't enslaved, and then just obviously loads of people are like, yeah, we are.
Farley Hill's come up with an odd comment here, Graeme.
Go on.
How old do you think I am? About 62, Farley.
Yeah, I'd probably say 60.
Mr. Kilsey, that could go either way, couldn't it? Mr. Kilsey once says Captain Spaulding this year or Guy Fawkes. I love it when SJWs go on in Guy Fawkes mask because they watched a film and think that's him, not realising he was an agent of the Pope of Rome looking to murder people. Beautiful. Makes me very happy to see people in Guy Fawkes masks.
Right, Hayden, I've really, really enjoyed tonight, but I'm going to have to knock it on the head.
We'll see.
But I have. Thanks for tonight. Thank you.
No, thank you. I needed it as well.
The live, yeah. Like, it's good. It's nice.
Get the poison out. Get the poison out.
And are we on for Thursday still?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Bit of big show. Remember, guys, we do the Trigger Warning podcast live every Tuesday. Farley 70. Well done, sir.
Ooh, nice.
You've reached a good age and not died, and you're a triggerist. Senior triggerist. That's fucking awesome. So every Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. UK time, you can watch us record. You can watch us record the podcast live on YouTube on the channel youtube.com/triggerwarningtv. The audio is released every Wednesday. If we do an extra time, which we're not tonight, that comes out on a Friday. And I say every Wednesday, but that's been a bit of a hit and miss recently. But it's usually released at 8 o'clock because either I've not given Graeme the files or we forgot. And we've reminded each other and both forgot.
Yeah, or I just went to bed at 7:30. So it didn't happen. I literally, as the podcast should have been released, I was just fast asleep at 8 in the evening.
These things happen. And then every Thursday we've got what's the big show, which is at 10 p.m. It was at 9 p.m. last week, wasn't it?
We had a bit of an experiment, yeah.
I'm not sold on it. What do you think?
I don't know because in terms of us getting home earlier, we didn't get home that much earlier, really.
No, but it was a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were all up. They were all up. Thursday nights, I do the same thing every time. I get in, it's quiet. I sneak in, and I'm wired from the show, so I just sit there till about 3 a.m, just happily enjoy. She's fucking sat there playing Borderlands. My daughter's awake, 11:30 at night. Hey, Daddy, what the fuck is going on here? I wasn't happy.
Smoke Steve says Thursday big. Oh.
What are you doing awake? I think that's the end. For
Well,
me,
just
Hayden.
saying. Smoke Steve says 10 p.m. 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
It will be. Why are you?
Yeah, 10 p.m. Thursday Big Show, Graeme Show, 12 p.m. every Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. Graeme's got a family emergency, and I'm going to go as well. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your company. And get on the website, triggerwarning.tv. Sign up, have a chat. I'm usually there most days anyway, so let's hang out. Catch you later. Bye-bye.